There must be some kind of way out of here, said a joker to the thief. There's too much confusion, I can't get no relief.
Right. Yeah, well, we shouldn't oversleep is what we shouldn't do. We shouldn't miss fucking appointments. Can we get to that part too?
I didn't make the appointment, but we'll get more organized next time, and it'll be better. Okay, so coming to us live from deep within the swamps of Mendham, New Jersey. Love him or hate him, we've got Gary, also known as DoNotGod in Mendham. I'm not sure if your channel in Mendham was restored yet or not. I don't think so, right? No?
Not yet.
So we've got Gary here today to sort through some differences, try to find some agreements, or maybe just scream and yell at each other the whole time. But it'll make for good entertainment either way. I guess let's start with the human animal. Why did nature become human? Is it an unfortunate accident in your opinion, Gary?
Yeah, well, look, the accident, we know that. I think the science all points to it not being a deliberate God's design or an intelligent design. So yeah, it's an unintelligent design. Whether it's unfortunate or not, that's open to opinion, I'd say. So one fact I'm more certain of than the other. But yeah, I would say, I guess, unfortunate, personally. That's my personal opinion.
What do you say, Gary? Do people say, well, is it possible intelligence can emerge from that and then try to design in its own destiny or something like that? I mean, what do you do about that argument?
Yeah, well, I've argued that if you perfect the conscious experience, you have some hope, okay? That you can get to the zero sum, because it's a zero-sum game. But we're not going to perfect it. So outside of that option, then it's just all fail. Our intelligence can only be used to serve a need. There has to be a passion, there has to be a desire, there has to be a problem for intelligence to fix. Without that, intelligence just sits there and says, I'm a bump on a log, I don't have anything to do.
Is intelligence the only faculty that's selected for in evolution? Or, I mean, aren't there sort of like kin bonding, emotional faculties which are selected for? And I mean, isn't evolution more than about which animal can get the most intelligence fastest? Aren't there other faculties that are involved, more emotional faculties?
Well, there's a big difference between knowledge or wisdom and intelligence. So yeah, lots of animals have some kind of intelligence, but it's a scheming tool, it's a hammer. It's used to scheme to get what they want personally. Nature, once you have a reproducing machine that can change, then it will acquire all kinds of different kinds of tools. Bigger teeth, bigger this, stronger that. They become bigger, they become smaller, whatever's advantageous to capitalize on an environment to create copies of yourself. And that's what evolution cares about, is creating copies. It doesn't care about the thing it's copying. It only cares that the copies are made.
Gary, what do you feel about humanity's position in the animal kingdom? How do you rank us at all? I mean, do you put us on something categorically different than all animals, or do you just say we're just the next rung up, just slightly above apes? Or is there something about this brain that just changes the game for you? Or what do you say about that?
Well, I'd say our psychology hasn't substantially evolved. We still have a desire-driven psychology. It's full of conditioning. We're conditioned just like an elephant is conditioned or a gorilla is conditioned. Obviously, we're different because we have 10,000 years of civilization to build on. We have knowledge, and that makes us different because that's a whole new branch of evolution can take place. All right, that's quite separate from natural selection.
We were talking a little bit about the brain evolving in humans last night, so this is kind of related. And we said the next evolution would probably be, well, I said this, some kind of techno-biohardware synergy evolution, because we haven't really evolved much since apes. This was a speculative kind of thing. Settle down, tranquilize yourself, tranquilize. But but what I was trying to say is I agreed that we haven't really moved that far from those primal cranial stages. And the next thing would seemingly be if we wanted to alter our hardware and start putting memory chips in there and all these things, that probably would be the way to evolve on that side of the street. What do you think about that? As far as the future of what we could do you think it's wise, or do you think it's, if we want to evolve, should we be tinkering around with our genetics, our chemistry, and all these things? What do you think about that?
Well, I don't think there's any point. We basically have a a Pentium 4 dual core processor, whatever. We have the maximum computer, and we're playing tic-tac-toe with it right now. We have more mental capacity than we freaking need. All right, we got people now that can't even get the ABCs of life right. All right, I mean, yeah, we got the whole alphabets here. We can do the whole thing right now with the brain we have. It's not a limitation of our physical capacity to be smart. It's a limitation of the fact that we are still psychologically apes. And people will keep behaving like apes because they are owned by their psychology, they're owned by the DNA molecule, because no one's telling them different. No one's telling them that there is no God and there is no phantasmagorical origins to the human species. We are a parasite like all the rest of the parasites. We are here to reproduce and do nothing else. That's nature's design.
It sounds like I would, I'll leave what John was speculating about on the table for a second and, play off of what you just said, that maybe, human beings aren't meeting their potential. And, I've said this in other interviews, that perhaps we're not even really human yet. We're not even self-conscious yet. We're still trying to achieve that. But I think that there is hope that we can achieve it. That we can sort of retrain ourselves and cultivate in ourselves a different way of living on the planet that wouldn't involve, exploiting the natural world or, those people who are unfortunate enough to be born in the third world, in the underdeveloped nations, and then have to work for us in the wealthy developed nations. I think that there's obviously a lot of problems with the way that civilization has structured itself, and it creates a lot of suffering and has turned the earth into a giant, trash heap, really. And that's unfortunate, but I haven't lost hope because I see the potential in the human animal to do something more. Now, are you completely without hope that there is any possibility of human beings cleaning up their act? Or is this?
Well, there's a whole lot of milk to clean up. There's a whole lot of spilt milk to clean up. So yeah, I'm not very hopeful that human beings are going to find some way to optimize this feel-good equation. Like, what desires do we keep? Which ones are moderate enough to satisfy with the least exploitation of resources? Obviously, 7 billion people equation doesn't work, especially at the rate we're consuming. But even then, what's the point? I mean, we're still hamsters in the cage, just running the stupid wheel, chasing a satisfaction we will never obtain. We're not designed to be satisfied. We're designed to want and need every second of our life. That's how we are built. And unfortunately, we're built to do that, to be sacrificial to the next generation. I mean, that's why we see the difference between men and women. We see that, through our evolution, men were expendable. All right, they had a job to do, plant a seed and then die protecting the woman and the child. I mean, this is nature's insidious plan for us. And there's very little sign that we want to walk away from that stupid design and try to find something better. But in the end, the better is only going to be satisfying the need equation. We create the need. What if we don't create it?
What if love is what's motivating the husband to, give his life to protect his child and wife? Why does it have to be some game, torturous game that nature has orchestrated? Why can't it just be an expression of what's natural between mammals, the sense of love and wanting to protect the other? It doesn't, why your explanation over this more positive explanation that I might offer?
because it's not the truth. I mean, you invent a word that doesn't mean anything. The truth of our attachments to things in this on this planet are obvious. I'm attached to women that are attractive, and they're attractive because they're going to be likely to be reproductive and create a child. And then I'm possessive because, yes, that works evolutionarily to have me possessive. I mean, this is, you know, to put a pretty little label on what goes on between men and women is kind of silly. I mean, it's nice that we care about each other, but let's understand that underneath the caring is always some sort of negative, like nepotism, like nationalism, like racism. It's always an ism, you know, and so whatever, sexism, it's there. You know, we don't desire each other based on some sort of brilliant, rational standard. No, we desire based on very crude standards.